The R35-S was one of those devices that they released and came out of nothing in my opinion, and it had a pretty damn good value for your money. It's not a perfect emulation device, but still for them it's absolutely crazy if you think about it in the last couple of years what they've released. But also out of nothing it came with an R36-S. Man, it's so confusing. Two devices with similar specifications, but which one is actually the best one of the two? That's what we're going to talk about today, so stay tuned and let's go. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's awesome that you're tuning in. So in this ultimate battle between quite two decent devices, I just wanted to give you an overview what are the differences and which one is just my actually favorite. If you watch my full reviews you already know what are the differences mostly, but I just want to do a side-by-side comparison. So first of all, when you're looking at both of the boxes, here we're going to get maybe a weird thing to compare, but both have different sizes. And which one have the better box? I'm just gonna be honest, I love it, man, with Dragon Ball Z on it. But that's not the point. Let's do a quick unboxing and let's see which of the two are better. So first of all, they both come with toilet paper manuals. We're not going to discuss that. But what we do discuss is the way how this thing looks and how it actually feels. Because I can tell you, I have a strong preference for one of each. And at the end of the video, you will know which one it is. By the way, I love this purple translucent color. That's so looking nice. The first notable difference between the two is actually how big it is. Of course, bigger is not always better, and by my opinion it is when it comes to the purple or the R36-S. And the reason why, because when you're looking at the device and the way how you hold it, the bigger device is so much more comfortable for my hands. If you have smaller hands, maybe the R35-S will be something you personally prefer in the end. But then you take consideration that also the things you need to take consideration how you actually go to play these things. And what do we mean with this? So first of all, when you're looking at the configuration, you already see the two joysticks are on top. If you're a big fan of playing with two analog sticks, this is maybe the handheld for you in combination with this size. Where I am a D-pad guy and I love to play with the D-pad, oh man, and also the D-pad is absolutely great on this. This is just one of my favorite ones to play most of the time out of these two. But another thing is, I do love to play with the analog stick sometimes, and the placement is just okay in my opinion. But that are the, two of the huge differences when it comes to the overall, let's say size of the device, the comfortability of the shell itself, but also when it comes to the D-pad. So let's talk about the D-pad, because here we do have a huge difference. So there's a huge difference, especially when it comes to the touch itself and how it feels. The resistance is completely different of both of the devices. So let's give you an up close. When you're feeling the R36, it feels so nice. It has a very short travel, but it also feels very nice when it comes to playing some certain games. When we're having over here, the other one has more resistance, and again, it's more like a personal preference. I don't really like this thing. I personally prefer the R36, not only the placement of the freaking D-pad, but also the way how it feels and plays. The R36-S is absolutely a winner for me. Looking at the connections and all the possibilities, they are almost the same to each other. So first of all, both will have the same kind of port at the bottom part, including a headphone jack. So at the left side, it's kind of funny, both of them will have the same configuration of buttons, having the reset, the power on and the second SD card. On top there is actually nothing. And also at the right side we're having volume control. The only difference is I've noticed when it comes to the R35 over here, it has been slightly, let's say, in depth in the shell itself, so it's very difficult to press, where with the R36S it works way better and it's more easy to click. Take consideration both have quite a resistance, so it's not you're going to be clicking this accidentally, so that is something you need to take consideration too. At the back we have both the same configuration of buttons, and when it comes to, let's say, the way how they've actually made this is actually also the same when it comes the way how it actually looks. But where we're going to get the biggest difference is the size of the device itself. So here you can just actually see that the distance between the bottom part and in the middle is so much different. This in other words means if I'm going to be holding it, I need to move my hands in different weird, strange and uncomfortable positions to actually use these things, and also not even to talk about the massive resistance of the micro switches. So where we're having the R36S, this is the same issue, don't get me wrong, it's the same resistance, but when you're looking at just the way of, let's say, the device itself, the way how you're holding it, the shell, I find it so much more comfortable to reach in every single, let's say, button. Also, both will have the same configuration where, like say, the middle ones have a slightly raised position, so they are slightly different and also easier to reach. But again, it's a minor, almost not really noticeable difference in my opinion. But, and again, the R36 absolutely wins. This just wins it for me in the D-pad, but also when it comes to the shoulder buttons. But don't get me wrong, when it comes to the shoulder buttons, there are way better versions out there. And this is absolutely not one of my favorite. To be honest, I really both hate them when it comes to the back buttons. So we talked about the size and how comfortable it is. Let's see what is the weight. So first of all, the R35-S comes with 176 grams. And when you're looking at the other model, the 36, it has around, let's say, almost 190 grams. A very minor difference, but still, when you're looking at the weight itself, I really prefer to have a little bit more weight. It also gives a little bit more durability. But another thing I want to talk about is the battery itself. In my additional reviews, I did a teardown of both devices. Another thing I've noticed that when it comes to the R36, this thing has a battery you can just swap out fairly easy by removing the cover, and you can just replace it fairly easy. Also has a plug, so no soldering needed. Was the same thing going on with the R35, but you need to open up the device. It's a small difference, but you know that are one of the minor differences that make this thing way better again. Alright, screen time. So when it comes to the emulation, it's kind of funny. So both will show a different boot up, but when you're actually booting up some games on the R36, it will show you a boot up from the R35. So software wise, in my opinion, they are almost identical to each other. But let's boot them up and I will give you an overview of the capabilities, but also the screen size. So far I know they are running both on Arc OS 2.0, and when it comes to overall emulation performance, yeah, we're not going to have like major differences over here. Both devices will run on a similar system, but we're having different layouts, where we have just a clean look over here, where you can go into the games. We can also just change it all out if you want to, take that into consideration, including the theme. This is just something you're getting out of the box straight away. Another thing I was really curious about, okay, so we know we can play all kinds of things with this. I did a full review about them, but let's take a close look at some comparison when it comes to the display itself. So the display, first of all, the front glass is very hard material, but also when it comes to the way how it looks, here you can see it's very flattened out and it looks kind of nice and very slim. The front glass of the 36 is slightly different, having a little bit different level, but the look itself is quite nice. So when you're going to put both of the devices side by side, it's same going to a store looking at different television of different brands, or having the same brands with different, let's say, sizes. There also is like a minor difference, and this is no different over here. The R36 at the right, I have this feeling it looks more bluish when it comes to colors, and the left one is absolutely the R35, the winner of this, let's say, side by side battle. Tony Hawk looks so much better on this, let's say, left handheld, where the colors are more vibrant and way more colorful. Nevertheless, if you're just going to play them, you're just going to be not really noticing, but putting them side by side, here we can just see clearly who is the winner, and in my case, it's going to be the R35. How about the speaker? Both will have a front-facing speaker. Let's do a quick overview which one's better of that case. So when it comes to the audio quality, I'm just going to be honest, I think it's absolutely just the same. Nothing of, let's say, someone sounds a little bit better. Nope, nothing at all. Oh yeah, stereo. But let's talk some specs, let's get into the nerdy mode. So when it comes to the CPU, it's a rock chip. The 3326, that's a quad-core ARM 64-bit Cortex A35 CPU that runs on 1.5 GHz. Only 1 GB of RAM, that is actually DDR3L, 3.5 inches of a display, it is an IPS full viewing angle, and that's absolutely true, with a resolution of 640 by 480. Nevertheless, there is an option for Wi-Fi capabilities, 2.4 and 5 GHz, and when it comes to the games, there is so much to play. 3200 mAh will give you around 6 hours of game time. Specification-wise, it's quite an interesting piece of hardware. 3.5-inch display, it's absolutely a beautiful display with a resolution of 640 by 480. The CPU is a Rockchip 3326 64 bits, that is actually in quad-core Cortex A35 running on 1.5 GHz. Maximum memory 256 GB, 8 watt power of the speaker, and it sounds pretty damn nice. And the battery is 3500 mAh, gives you around 8 hours of game time, and needs a 2 hour for a charge. So which device is the best? For me, it's going to be the R36. Yep, maybe this doesn't have not the best display from the two, but still I just love this thing. And the way how it feels, how it just holds and how it actually plays with the D-pad, because I'm a D-pad guy. But if you have smaller hands and you're just thinking, hey, this display, the R35, looks so much better, and I'm just a guy who plays, or a girl of course, that's also a possibility, play with the 2 joysticks, yeah, then maybe this is one of the versions you should pick up. Let me know in the comments, which one did you order? Did you order one? But take consideration, we will upload more videos of top 5s and different handhelds to guide you through this jungle of freaking annoying, too many of those devices. And yeah, it's absolutely a rabbit hole. Thank you all for watching, and it will be great to see you in the next one.